Okay, everybody, and welcome to today's segment of Everything Drywall. And what we have is we do the sheetrock in all of these houses. And this is our 1-year warranty. And what our warrantable items are to the builder is generally cracks. And I don't know if you can see it. Maybe we can see this one better. Also wanted to mention, whenever you're using plastic, guys, we use a painter's plastic. This is what you want. Painter's plastic, it's like 3/4 mil. Yeah, 3/4 mil. The reason you go with the light mil plastic is that when you put the tape to it, there's no weight. The floors, you could put a heavier stuff, but we do get away with the light plastic. But when we drape the plastic to protect everything, when we spray, you'll understand why we use a light plastic. We're just looking to keep the material off of people's walls. He's putting some screws to tighten up the crack. Apparently this one had gotten loose. Make sure your fastening your sheetrock is fastened well to the framing. So check your cracks and make sure that the sheetrock is tight. So what are you doing, Keith, now?
Applying mesh tape.
Over the crack?
Yes, sir.
Why aren't you using the paper tape up there?
Mesh tape is self-adhesive and it's thinner.
Right?
Creates less of a hump on the ceiling, so it's easier to feather.
There you go. You can do that to every crack?
For the most part, yeah.
All okay, right. Now Keith has the mesh tape on all the cracks, and this is what he likes using this stuff here. It's 5-minute hot mud. So he puts the mesh tape on first and preps all the cracks, because once he mixes this stuff up, you don't have time to be putting mesh tape on and coating it. So this is not like regular compound. This is a fast setting compound. And I got too much water in his pan, so he's pouring it out all together. So he likes to put the mud in first. I always put the water in first.
I put the dust in first because then I know exactly how much mud I can put in my pan and then mix in the water.
Well, that's probably a good idea, because I usually wind up chasing.
Yeah,
it's too runny or too thick, or too runny or too thick.
Yeah, it's easier to control how much water I put.
I hope you guys are getting all this, because this guy is a professional, and if you do, just do what he's doing, you're going to have a better drywall experience. Man, Keith, we should have put some paint colors in that and got put it on what do you call it? The Zen site?
Satisfactor, or the eye-pleasing, what do they call those videos?
Yeah, and got like 1 million views.
Could have.
Yeah. So now he's gonna go apply the 5-minute hot mud onto the tape, the mesh tape that he put up on the ceiling.
It just slid on me.
What split?
Plastic slid when I jumped on the ladder.
I thought you said your pants split.
No, not yet. That's the clickbait you were talking about, right?
Okay, these
My pants split at the end.
running works.
So he's just putting enough up there to cover that mesh tape up. He doesn't want a hump in the ceiling. So he's reinforcing the crack by embedding hot mud into the mesh tape, which is like a square mesh. Hence the name, mesh. Why do they call it mesh tape?
Meshes the two joints together into one.
Because it's a mesh tape. You took it to a new level, man. So anyway, that's what he is gonna do now, is apply this material to these cracks. And see, he's not dropping a bunch of it all over the place when you're inside a finished home. You don't want that.
What is the name? I don't know.
See? Nice and tidy. Very good. So now he's putting the second coat on. So just making sure there isn't a bunch of scratches and making sure that mesh tape is covered up. Again, be careful not to put too much material up there because you don't want to create a big old hump that's going to show like a speed bump in your ceiling.
She does like
Okay, so now he's putting up that light visqueen I was telling you about to protect stuff, because we're going to start the process of texturing these spots back. This texture on this ceiling is a knockdown, and what that means is we spray the texture and blade it off. And so to do that, we've got to spray, and we don't want to get it all over these people's belongings. That's why the light duty plastic, so that the tape holds it. This is what we use for patches and touch-up jobs. The model we use is the Leico TG600, and it's got a brass body, a lot like a bicycle pump dynamic. The nozzle here, you can adjust it for a finer pattern or a heavier pattern. Got the 1-quart jug on it, and basically you just throw regular drywall compound in this jug, and then you get like a painter's paddle or something to mix it. You add some water in the jug when you take this bottle spins off, and then you spin up the material to the consistency you want, and then you screw the jug back on, and I'll show you how it works in just a second. You know how to throw one?
Now I gotta practice.
Yeah, live bait is key.
So now
I don't-
Keith's
I don't
gonna
use
grab the
artificial
edges.
anything. Everything I use is live.
He laid that mud up over that existing texture, and so what he's got to do now is knock that hard edge down by blending it down into the existing texture. So that way when the texture is sprayed up there, we don't have a hard line picture framing the repair. So you want to definitely rag that edge down. Yeah. So now Keith's gonna pump spray just the nozzle a little bit to get the bigger pattern for the knockdown. And now he's gonna pump back the texture up on those bald spots that were the repairs. Just like that. There's one. And he'll do that to all the spots. So we use a plastic knife that's pretty flimsy, and once we shoot the texture up there, we've got to blade it off. The original knockdown texture is sprayed with a big machine, and we've got to try to duplicate the same pattern and the same thickness, the same size dots. And once you shoot the texture up there, you've got to let it set up. Otherwise you'll just smear it all around. I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, depending on the consistency of your texture. And so, looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Let me show, hang on.
Yeah, this one probably be a little bit better. It's a little bigger.
So yeah, here's a bigger one. And he's gonna blade it off. You can see the material is rounded, and then as he's knocking it down, he's just flattening it out. So these are the way we do a knockdown patch. And it's tricky. It's a tricky deal to try to get it to where it's non-detectable. Here, let me go up there and get an eye view with it. So I don't know if you can tell or not, but that's flattened out. And see, the existing texture is flattened out. So that's how you take care of cracks in a ceiling. And now we'll go through, but remember, let your texture set up a minute before you blade it off. If you have any comments, leave them in that section. Or any questions, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Bye.